Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mental Health Awareness Initiative, and today we have a lovely guest with us, Mrs. Garima Pradhan, who is a practicing psychologist in Thane, Maharashtra. So, over to you, Garima. Tell me something about yourself. What do you do?
Okay, so as you have mentioned, my name is Garima, and I am a practicing counseling psychologist, and I have my own private practice here in Thane. And I have worked with parents, dealing with helping them deal with the parenting issues, and I also work with adult population, adolescent, and like I love working with children the most.
That is
Okay,
excellent. And
so
I'm
that's
sure that if you have been taking care of all the age groups, you
yeah,
must be experiencing that people are going through a
yeah.
lot of stress part that is generally termed. But
Mhm.
what is your take about mental health?
So, since this lockdown has begun, we've all heard a lot about, mental health and how important it is, and just like our physical health. But I would like to, tell you about mental health in a way that health is not just about not having a specific disorder, but it is the state of the well being wherein the person is able to realize his or her own potential and can cope with the daily life stress and problems. So, when you are eating well, you're sleeping well, and you're enjoying your life, and you consider yourself to be a valuable person, and you don't set unrealistic goals for yourself, and you're okay when you fail, and you don't when you're okay when you fail, like when you don't achieve your goal, and you have a normal social life, and you don't mind interacting with people, um, you're also able to maintain your social relationships. So I would say then you are doing just fine regarding your mental health. So it is more of a, about the more of the you know s- the, it is all about the psychological, social, and emotional well-being.
True. So it's like you have beautifully said, and it is like heart consoling also to listen to you that it is okay actually not to be okay, which is very commonly casually said. But when you have mentioned it, that it is actually right. So going on further, what do you want to share with our listeners regarding emotional well-being?
Okay, so in a emotional well-being basically describes how we think, feel, and relate ourselves with others, and how we manage the ups and downs of life. And it is not just being happy and keeping a smile on your face, but also, it's about how you experience your day-to-day life and how you evaluate those experiences in your mind. Okay, so people who are emotionally healthy are in control of their emotions and are able to cope and function in the face of setbacks, and also bounce back from those setbacks. And
Right.
yeah, so and it doesn't mean that you have to be happy all the time. It's just that you are aware that what emotions you're going through or you're experiencing, and you are able to deal with them. And so you do feel angry sometimes, you do feel sad, stressed, frustrated, worried also. And but then you can, tell when emotions become overwhelming, and you do things to cope up and bring yourself to a state where they do not distress you, and you are able to function well enough. But if this is not happening, then it is time to step back and take a deep look in what's going on. So
True.
that's what emotional wellness is all about, according to me. And emotion is just one aspect of person's health which is often neglected. But when your emotional health is suffering, your physical health will suffer too.
That is very rightly said. And as you have now, also summed up that we have different type of emotions, as you mentioned, and it's not always you should be seeking out only to be happy all the time.
Yeah,
It's like whatever emotion you're going through, to live it and not to be overwhelmed by only one emotion.
yeah.
So it's heading forward from here. Have you encountered any specific emotions that have been, very common these days?
Yeah, so these days, anxiety is something that, which is very common because of the, uncertainty. People are losing their jobs, and schools are not open. People are not able to meet their loved ones. A lot of things they are missing on, and they don't know what is going to happen, because it happened that 1 year will probably next year will be fine, but again we
Yeah.
are seeing a surge in all the cases, so we don't know what's ahead. So anxiety is something, and also the stress, because everyone is working from home, and
Correct.
taking care of when you are out in the in the school, if you're working in the school, or when you're in the office, you're 100% there. So you're just doing the office thing, you're doing the school thing. But here, when you work from home, you have to take care of your children, you have to take care of the house, and also attend the meetings, and also do the presentations. So it is quite stressful for everyone at the moment. So this is something that is very common these days.
So if the stress part that is happening because of the current situation, people handling more in the current time, what would
Yeah.
you suggest as people should actually just retain it in their mind and practice it? Some practical
Okay,
solutions.
Hina, before we I'll discuss the coping part. I would like to discuss a little bit about what emotions are.
Okay, that is
So
wonderful.
yeah, so we often confuse emotions with feelings and moods.
True.
Okay, but actually emotions are complex reaction patterns. Okay, to whatever we experience in the outside world, and it involves your experience, your behavior, and also your physiology. So you have your bodily changes also related to when you experience something, and it's not just that you're feeling it in your mind, it is also your body that is involved in experiencing that emotion. Okay, and although basic emotions are felt and expressed by all in a similar way, um, but they're still very subjective in nature. So to say, their emotions are subjective experiences.
Okay, that's a very interesting term because, yes, globally the emotions are there,
Yeah.
which is same for everyone. But then, as you have said, it's like subjective in nature. So, could you just elaborate a little more about subjectivity part of this?
Yeah. So subjective experience, it can be as simple as seeing your favorite color or food, as major as losing someone you love. Okay, losing a loved one. We may feel many emotions in the same situation, and also everyone may feel differently in the similar situation. For example, if one person may feel very angry, may feel regret at the loss of a loved one, while the other may be just sad if they lose someone they loved. So it is quite subjective in nature. That's how it is subjective. So it depends on one person to person how they are going to experience it. And I'll tell you why um,
Mhm.
in a later part of my in the discussion. But before that, you know more about emotions is that they are just, you have to understand that they are just signal that your body is giving you, or the way it is, the way our body talks to us, where and tells us that we need to put our focus or attention to some, something, or where something is off the balance. And we may ask ourselves, what is this emotion telling me to do?
Okay, so it's like we need to listen to the body, that what signal it is sending out, and then go ahead and further try to find out the
Exploring
why
that.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is
Okay.
like not, emotions are not, positive and negative, that we often hear that this is a positive emotion, we should not feel this, and oh sorry, negative emotion, we should not feel
Correct.
this, and positive emotion, that we must feel more of this. So it is not like that. Every emotion has a role to play, and each emotion till a point is helpful, and later if we, later on, if we just let it go unchecked, then it becomes unhealthy. So
Right.
like even some emotions like, stress, sadness, and anxiousness, they are also, they are also a signal that body sends us, and which has a, good meaning. Like
True.
stress tells us that we need to slow down and focus on self care, right?
Correct.
And sadness tells us that we are hurt, and maybe we have lost, sorry, maybe we have experienced some kind of loss, and we need some kind of support, and
Hmm.
we seek support from our loved ones. Anxiousness may tell us that there is some kind of threat which we need to deal with and manage, and we need to calm down and bring ourselves to the present moment, because anxiety basically is the fear of future, and we are, when we are anxious, we are fearing what may come. So instead of
Right.
being in the future, we can just ask, just try to be in the present moment, and calm and cope up with
Hmm.
that feeling, right? um, so basically all emotions are either helpful and unhelpful, depending on how we respond, I'm sorry, how we
Yeah. No,
respond
no.
to.
It's like correct. But over here, like I would like to ask you another point is like when you have mentioned that we need to talk to our loved ones or seek help from somebody. So, in this, when everyone is living at home, as a psychologist, what would you like to tell the listeners when to seek the help? When should they go out and seek help?
So, when you are not eat, when you feel that you have been eating in a certain way, and suddenly your hunger, has either gone, you want to eat more, or you have started eating less. Suddenly there's no you're not hungry anymore. Your sleep pattern, you notice a change in your sleep pattern, you don't feel like sleeping, or you're sleeping too much. um, you're quite irritated most of the time, and
Okay.
little bit of, a little bit of things, a little bit of
Yeah.
anything that somebody says, just, you feel too overwhelmed and unable to, you know
Handle that.
handle it, or cope with that. And you're also feeling sad most of the time, or crying spells are there. And also, you have to notice your thought patterns. What kind of thought, what is the quality of thoughts that you're having at that moment? So is it always, related, what kind of pattern is there? I mean, is it related to something that is making you feel low and not happy? So now that is the time when you think, when you should, start to understand that now I need help, and you should go out and seek somebody, some professional help, and
Right.
even share it with your family members, that right now I'm not in a, good emotional health, I'm not in a good, uh, mental health, my mental health is
Okay.
needs some support.
So that is like how you have rightly said. If it has to be summed up, it is like just focusing on the thought process, if it's like for a long time, if it's happening in a particular pattern, which is
Hmm.
making you more feel low, like, not
Yeah.
very positive about life, then you should go out and seek professional help or share it with the family members, as you have rightly said. So, if at all everyone is at home and listening to you right now, what coping skills would you like to suggest them?
Okay. So, uh, it's it may look like we are when we are pampering ourselves, or we are trying to focus on your self care. It may
Mhm.
look like being very selfish, like especially for the women. I mean, they are the ones who have to prioritize everyone else rather than themselves. That's the thought
Thought process.
that's
Yeah,
yeah,
that
that is
is
the thought
true.
process that we have, like it's we have understood, though we have understood how what emotions are, but taking care of it seems like a big deal. And
True, absolutely.
but and it also seems like a selfish act to do that. Why is the people will think that I'm taking just thinking about myself, not taking care of others. But you can't pour from your cup if you don't have anything inside your cup, right? So whatever
Mhm.
you hold in your cup is what you're going to pour. So if you take care of your mental health and keep it as a priority, top priority in your priority list, then it will go a long way in your overall health, and also help other relationships, and you're taking care of them, your family members and everyone. And it is a decision and a choice to make. To start up with, I have some simple rituals, as a soft reminder, that you can just start doing, baby steps to take care of your mental health or emotional health. Is first thing is that getting up early and drinking your morning cup of tea or coffee in peace is going to be very helpful. Okay.
Hmm.
Then taking a walk in the garden and going for a walk, and then talking to your close good people, sometimes friends. We are with our family, that's fine, but
Mhm.
talking to your best friends on phone can also be quite unwinding.
Right, a very
And
big debuster.
yeah, and also
Mhm.
spending your time alone, doing what you like. You're taking care of, doing what has be in your hobby, but you have not been able to do it since a long time. This is the time that you can, you now you can start doing it. It is not selfish to do these things. But now I want to tell you how to improve and maintain your emotional health. Um, that's how you start, but how to maintain it? So, first is that you have to start becoming aware of what you are experiencing or feeling. So, acknowledging it, and how do you react to what is happening around you. And so, when you are angry, sad, or excited, what makes you do so? And what do you do when you feel it? Okay.
Hmm.
Second point is, think before you act. So oftentimes we think that we feel in a certain way because this happened, but it is not a triggering event that is responsible for you to behave in a certain way. Rather, it is our own evaluation of the situation, how we see it, and what comes to our mind, our own thoughts makes me feel, or makes us feel or act the way we do.
Very true.
And so becoming aware of your own thought patterns, what you are thinking most of the time, is very important in maintaining your emotional well-being, and hence your mental well-being. Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's like we need to be aware about ourselves, whenever we are feeling so overwhelmed or we have an exaggerated feeling.
So it is like, every time you feel certain things which you feel that is not helping you, try to go back to the thought that what came to my mind when this happened. Okay. So when you go back to a thought, you will understand. So this is the thought that I thought, like this came to my mind,
Yes.
and
Mm-hmm.
hence I felt this emotion, this feeling, and similar way I acted. So
Okay.
if I feel angry, I'm going to act in an angry way, right?
Correct.
So I what we do is we create a connection between, so this happened, that is why I got angry. But I would like to ask you, if two people in the same situation, same thing happens, will they are you sure that they are going to act in the same way? I
It is
mean,
not
if
subjective.
yeah.
That is where the
So
subjective
so
experience comes.
so subjective experience is all about, thoughts, how I think about the
Correct.
situation, how I evaluate the
Right.
situation, and that is how I act, because of
Correct.
the thought that I had in my mind. So
True.
when you start catching your thought, you are more in control of your action.
So if I have to connect this with mental health right now, when you have said, no, that okay, people may go same thing, similar experience, similar like getting affected by similar things globally. So their reaction is subjective to their own personality.
Yeah, personality and the way they think, what is their
They, yeah,
their belief system, or what they
yes.
have there in their mind. So like, for example, if somebody has lost a job, three people have lost the job, the first
Mhm.
person uh, would think I am so worthless that I lost my job, and would feel very very sad and very very demotivated. The second person might think that how can they just throw me out of the company, I was doing so well, it's their loss.
Right.
Okay. Third person may become happy. Okay, fine, great, I lost the job, now it's the time for me to um, you know it's the time for me to do my own thing, and I
Uh,
can so doing that, we just discussed how people react to the same situation in a different manner. Third point is taking care of your own physical health, like taking care of your diet, sleep, and avoiding junk food, sugar, etc., and eating healthy. Then also the fourth point is connecting with others. Um, you know, Smiling at random people, talking to them, greeting them, and also calling up your loved ones. But the last thing that I want to really focus on is maintaining a journal. So you can have two journals that I'm going to talk about. The first is gratitude journal, where you can, at the end of the day, you can just write five things you're grateful for every day. And the other is the thought journal, where you can just write what happened, what happened and what were your thoughts, then how you felt and what you did. So it will help you vent out also, and also in the process you will learn to sort out your thoughts and your feelings, your actions, and also it will give you a healthy perspective later, so that so next time when you are in the same situation, you can act in a more healthier way. So I would like to tell all my listeners that all emotions are okay, and we all are going through the same similar situation in the same way, and trying our best to cope and just take care of yourself. The only thing at the end I would like to quote is a poem by Laura Edwards, which is very close to my heart. So the poem goes like this: if the mountain seems too big today, then climb a hill instead. If the morning brings you sadness, it's okay to stay in bed. If the day ahead feels heavy and your plans feels like a curse, There's no shame in rearranging. Don't make yourself feel worse. If the shower stings like needles and bath feels like you'll drown, if you haven't washed your hair for days, don't throw away your crown. A day is not a lifetime, a rest is not a defeat. Don't think of it as failure, just a quiet, kind retreat. It's okay to take a moment from an anxious, fractured mind. The world will not stop turning while you get realigned. The mountain will still be there when you want to try again. You can climb it in your own time. Just love yourself till then. So
That's
that's a
so
poem by
beautiful.
Laura Edwards, which is very close to my heart. So I wanted to end my talk like this.
It's beautiful, and thank you for your time. It's wonderful to learn such wonderful perspective about emotions and how we should take care about it. Wonderful to have Mrs. Garima Pradhan today. Thank you so much once again. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you so much.